So that went well. I was asking about the cover letter template, which I went back, I didn't see. So maybe if you can help me find that template, I'll appreciate it because when it comes to the city of Alberta, they ask for cover letters and all their posting. So I really wanted to start working on one. I got to that point and I realized I was having a little bit of
Bottom.
sorry.
It's usually at the bottom of the resume template.
Yeah, I searched. I also used Control F to like look up keywords, but nothing came up in that resume template.
I saw it last week, and then when I checked yesterday, it's gone.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe my team updated it because I had asked them to add in some stuff to it. Okay. Go ahead, Mahana. You were saying that you need a
Yeah,
cover
yes.
letter.
So I was trying to work on that. I realized that I was getting a bit stuck in narrating my experience. I think mostly because I really do need to double down on that industry research and have like even like a clear like job description in mind that I can use and then kind of use that to write my cover letter. But I think so far, honestly, I feel like because we have like things that we are doing every week, I haven't had the chance to go back and do week twos. So my plan literally after like we wrap up is to go back and like I can't skip assignments because they roll over to the subsequent weeks. And even though I didn't skip that one, I need to redo it and do it well. So that's
Yeah.
where I'm at. I didn't reach out to anyone, mostly because I I have people saved down. I actually need to connect and reach out to them. But a huge factor into like my reaching out and why I haven't done so now is honestly tied back to that industry research. I just need to have a focus. Like if someone asks me where do you want to work, I can't just say I don't know anywhere because that's not true. So I'm trying to find like a focus at first, then
Right. Somebody asked if you where do you want to work?
yes,
Has that
like
come up in
industry
your coffee
related.
chats before?
Sorry?
Has that come up in your coffee chats before? Where do you want to work?
I would say mostly because I'm transitioning in my previous coffee chats, like I was very clear, like I want to enter into this like industry. These are the reasons why like I'm looking for this role. Like I had clarity at that time, but at this time when I just say I want to enter into project management, it can be vague because it's like, okay, doing what, where, that I kind of need to like straighten out a little bit. And it also guide me in the type of people I reach out to and the type of conversations I can have in terms of how I can actually get in. I think so far I'm really, really clear that I would like to look some more into what government of Alberta or Edmonton have to offer. So I think that part is quite good. I just have to look into like some more industries. Um, what else? LinkedIn posting this week. I did solidify my plans to post. Um, I think my strategy, and thank you so much for posting that the like the screenshot of someone that you coached or your friend in the group chat.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it kind of gives me like something to work off with. I think I needed that. Um, if it would help, I'm honestly thinking of obviously like my initial post is going to mention that I'm making this transition, but I am also looking for, and maybe you could help me guide, like, it's either one of two areas. So I'm looking to volunteer with um, maybe like startups in like a project management capacity, or most likely I'm looking to work with a mentor in the field already. That way they can like coach me. So in my post, I was looking to like put in like my interest in working with either one of these two. Um,
So either government of Alberta and startups.
no, like a startup, not with the government. So either a startup in a project management capacity, like volunteering, or with, and this is how I don't know how it will work, like someone that would like to coach or guide someone that's interested in the field and they have a couple years of experience. So either like volunteering with them in like what they do, like bringing someone on and then they can like coach me through project management.
Okay, so this is an independent project manager that is looking for a mentee.
Yes.
What is the context of this? Like they have their own company or they're
Most
working project
likely,
management at an organization.
most likely they have their own company.
So you're looking for a startup.
Yeah.
Guys, we're overcomplicating these things. Like I'm actually like we're overcomplicating these things. Right? You're looking for someone that's working in this space that can help you.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is why we had outreach,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where you're able to see I'm working in this space and I'm going to reach out to you directly and say, hey, you're working in this space. Let's have a conversation. You can definitely put that together in your like outreach on your LinkedIn post, but like don't overcomplicate it. What I'm hearing a lot of Hanma is I don't know what industry, I'm not sure, so I don't want to have any conversations. Correct?
I think the narrative for me is I just need to go back, do the work, and then, like, I already have people saved. I can reach out to them, but the only reason why I haven't is, like, I'm not clear. Like, when I looked at their profiles, I was like, I'm not too sure what this conversation would be for. So I don't want to like just reach out for the basis of doing so, even though coffee chats, as you mentioned, is more for learning. So I also have that at the back of my mind, which is why I save their profiles.
Okay. Can I tell you something that's going to be really like simple? When you reach out to them, it's going to take a couple days for you to schedule the meeting, right?
Hmm.
In those couple of days, because you know that you're meeting with someone, you'll figure it out. You figure
Okay.
out what the conversation is. Do you see what I'm saying? If you're waiting to figure it out before you take action, you're not going to have the momentum to do that,
Hmm.
right? If you're I'll give you a perfect example. I scheduled a call with my old boss. He just started his own company. I scheduled a call with him. I wanted to just check in and say, hey, how's it going? What have you been up to? I see that you started a new company. We work great together, what have you. That was my initial conversation. I literally had nowhere that I wanted to actually discuss anything. We scheduled the call a week out. This week, I was very clear that, wow, I really need to pivot. I need to pivot into more on the entrepreneurship side. When I started having conversation with him, that's exactly what he is doing. So that's what the conversation was about. If I hadn't booked the call anyways, I wouldn't have prepped myself to get to have that conversation when I need to have that conversation a week later. Right? We don't want to become like perfectionists about this because there's no point of like figuring out the entire conversation before we have the conversation. I think you have enough, which is I'm Hanma, this is my experience so far. I'm interested in moving into this space. That's all you need. And then they'll
Okay.
ask you, well, what have you started on or how are you going about it? Oh, actually you started. I joined this accelerator program. We've been working on this. We've been mapping this out. Oh, interesting. I've been doing this. Okay, cool. You can't pre-have the conversation.
Hmm.
And you can't count on knowing exactly what you're going to say before you do the outreach to book the conversation. Because all of that also takes time, right? The outreach, you first put it out there, then they get back to you, then they schedule a time. That is usually a 1 to 2 week lead time. And in 2 weeks, you will know what you want to talk about,
Mhm.
right? I saw this with a client today. She was like, not today, Thursday. She was like, oh, I didn't put my LinkedIn profile on my resume because I'm still updating it. I'm like, well, just put your LinkedIn profile on your resume and then update it. And it, because it's a link, it'll be updated. Why are we waiting until we do something else when we know we need to place it here? It needs to go on the it needs to go on the LinkedIn, on the resume. It needs to be there regardless. Update it and move on. Why are we making this a two-step process? I will remember to put it back on after I've done. It's like, bruh, nobody is paying that close of attention to you. I see this all the time. I can't talk to anyone because I don't have a website. I can't do XYZ because I don't have. Guess what? When you put yourself out there, you have more incentive to prepare. If I literally put myself out, this literally happened to me. Someone called me to speak to entrepreneurs. I've been saying out here, I want to talk to entrepreneurs. I want to talk to entrepreneurs. They called me on a Thursday and they said, okay, on Wednesday, you're talking to entrepreneurs. Well, guess what? On Monday, I put together my presentation, but I wasn't going to say, let me put my presentation together and then do outreach and then get someone to, no, I'm putting myself out there. We're having conversations. I know enough, which is I want to speak to entrepreneurs. I want to speak about these 2 or 3 topics. So I know enough. We're not going out like completely unprepared. We don't do that, but we know enough to put ourselves out there, right? So I don't want us to hold ourselves back to get everything before we make a move, right? And Hanma, I'm speaking to you directly because you're an entrepreneur. How many times do you create programs and sell it or pitch it before it's complete? I'm asking.
How many times do I create programs and pitch it before it's complete? Almost all the time.
That's entrepreneurship 101. You got to get out of the building. You can't stay in your head. You have to put it out there. And then when you put it out there, the other person will then tell you what needs to go in it,
Mhm.
right? That's what typically happens. You go out and you pitch something and someone says, like, asks you a question and you're like, oh, I actually didn't think about that. Now you go put it in the program. Or
Mhm.
you say, oh, actually, yeah, we do have a module for that. You don't have a module for that. You're going to go build it. Like, we know this. You can't wait until things are perfect before you put yourself out there. And this is everybody in the room. It's by putting yourself out there that things become perfected. You quite literally have to take action to get momentum. And momentum is the only thing that propels us. There was something that you said, Hanma, that I wanted to talk about, which was when you were applying for that project coordinator position. You said you think you meet all the requirements. My question is, well, what are the responsibilities? Because it's not about the requirements, it's about the responsibilities. Whenever you're reading a job description, read the responsibilities, not the requirements. The responsibilities tell you what the job is about. The requirements say anyone should have something like this that may help them do this job. But the responsibilities tells you whether or not you can do the job.
Yeah, so for that role, they had mostly structured it and like project my so they had like broken it down, like planning in this way, um, reports in, so you'd be reviewing reports and also like sending out weekly reports as well, liaising with stakeholders. It was quite broad.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to pinpoint like areas in which I had to use this like individually, either through the work I do or um, or through volunteer capacity. I think when I said requirements, it was kind of like a bundle of both. I didn't mean it in terms of like just the qualifications that they're
Okay.
looking.
Okay. Okay. No problem. Just because I know most people read job descriptions like that, they scroll to the bottom and read whether or not they're qualified. And then that's how they make the decision whether or not to apply. Like 90% of job seekers do this. Do I have everything on the list? Okay, cool. I'm going to apply. And then they go back and read the list and they're like, wait, what? I had a client, she told me she wanted to apply for a project manager position. But the project manager position was residing over a team of customer success managers in a product that was like a technical cloud project. This girl's background is HR. She wants to do project management, but within the HR context. I was like, why did you apply to this job? Well, it said that, you needed to have your PMP and I have my PMP. Well, it said that it was, you needed to have years coordinating projects. I'm like, did you read the job? Like, first of all, you don't even know what the company does. How are you going to project manage a product that you don't understand? And they're not even product managed, like you're project managing a team of customer success people. Customer success focuses on the client. It's what the product is, and you don't know what they sell. You don't know who they sell it to and what their problems are. You don't know what the strategy is. Like, you have to read the job. You can't just jump to the qualification. Oh, it says that you need communication skills, therefore I'm qualified. Well, if it asks you to communicate, a thesis, then you may or may not be qualified. You got to read the responsibilities. Okay. What else did you say? You talked about those two jobs, reaching out, hesitating on reaching out because you need to go back and do research, and I'm telling you to just do it anyways. Um, was there anything else, Fanma, that you wanted to ask?
Till so yesterday I got the login details. But when I was trying to
Yes.
set things up, it said I needed to upgrade to Till Plus.
So you were the only one that I couldn't upgrade for whatever reason. My assistant was trying on her end for like a couple minutes. I'm gonna try again today. I don't know what was happening yesterday, but thanks for that reminder. But yours was the only one I couldn't upgrade for whatever reason. So I'll try again, and I'll let you know. But the others have been upgraded. So
Because
thanks
she
for the
reached out
reminder.
and said I should change my password, so I've done
All
that.
right.
When she reached out, she said I should change my password, so I've done that already.
What did you change it to? I think that was the issue. I think we had different passwords.
I can send that to you.
Sure. Okay. Was that it? Any other questions?
Mm, Nothing else so far.
Okay. Jumbo, I know you're not feeling too well. So if
Yeah,
you want,
I can go. Yeah.
okay. How was this week for you?
It was actually good.
Okay.
Um, the beginning of the week, I had a very good networking call with a startup,
Okay.
and we really clicked. So we're gonna like make some introductions for each other.
Okay.
Um, and it was a great way for me to also practice telling my story, or basically of like what's gone on in the past year. Um, And just taking your advice on networking, I was just very honest and like, oh, this is like one of the first times I'm really like talking about my story. And she was very encouraging. And I also understood like the beauty of actually networking well and not being shy and just showing up as your authentic self and talking about what you're actually passionate about. Like basically, I was just geeking out on what I'm geeking out on, whatever. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm,
And
mhm,
it was
mhm.
nice. It was good. I've taken that approach for the last few networking um, opportunities that I've had. Um, and without it being I'm looking for a job approach, I feel like I'm not necessarily like, okay, this must produce a job. So that has been really good. It has also helped me to be more confident about, like, not too afraid about the gap that I have. And like, I haven't wasted this time. And
Mm-hmm.
if, and I guess as I'm just listening to you people, I'm like, okay, I haven't wasted that time. And if a recruiter cannot see that, then that's their loss, basically. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I've done my best, and that's as much as I can do. I also applied for some jobs this week. Saw some really good ones that I'm really like, fingers crossed, updating my resume. I submitted a cover letter.
Did
I
you reach
reached
out
out
to
to
the hiring
someone. Yes, I
manager?
reached out to a hiring
Okay.
manager. I
Okay.
reached out to a hiring manager. And I'm also going to reach out to someone that I know that knows people in the company.
Okay.
Hopefully, they can make a connection there. Um, but um, I also got some referrals this week, which is good. So I'm I think I'm at a point where I am hopeful. I'm hopeful. Um, I keep reminding myself because sometimes I get into the weed of like trying to form a perfect resume, but there is
Mm-hmm.
no perfect resume. I can only show up as my best self and try and tell a recruiter that I do have the skills and reach out to them. Um, it's their but yeah, I think part of my work is also to de-escalate the stress of job applications. Um, and I totally understand where like Matthias is coming from with like the gap and you trying to explain your gap here. Um, but I'm just like, yeah, this is what I've done for the past year. This is what I've done for the past year. I've also applied, you know, yeah, you like there's really nothing I can do. But I'm hopeful. I'm really, really hopeful, fingers crossed that um I will get something soon. Or at least an
Yeah.
interview. Um so yeah, that's how my week was. It was really good because the more I talk to people, the more my story seems more real to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um and the more I'm proud of myself. So
Oh,
yeah, the more I'm proud of the work that I've done. Um and so this week I actually did also focus a lot on preparing myself for the role that I want. So
yes.
reading up on industry news, learning more about the industry, learning more about the Canadian ecosystem. Um, because I cannot just only rely on network, but I also have to do my own work so that even when I'm having conversations, we're relating on the same things. So the more I talk to people, the more they give me information, the more I do my own part of learning. So I guess part of my goal also entering into the next week is to learn more. Um, Basically start with what I have. I don't need to pay for any courses or whatever. I just learn, listen to podcasts, um, YouTube, just listen to other founders basically.
Yeah.
Um, and fingers crossed, hopefully something comes out of it at the end of the day, but I'm trusting God. Um, and I'm doing my part. Yeah. I didn't really use Tail. I've used it though. Uh, and I like the fact that it helps to keep organized. I think the only thing I don't like is the fact that I cannot upload multiple resumes. Uh,
You can.
I can?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe there's still a learning curve on that because I haven't figured it out.
But when you go to apply to a new job, it'll ask you if you want to add a new resume.
Oh, maybe that's in the paid feature. Maybe it's not in the unpaid one. So I
Yeah,
thought I'd be using the unpaid one. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I upgraded you yesterday.
Okay, so I will do that test out because I was like, oh, I tried using it, but I wasn't able to upload multiple resumes. So I was like, do I need to create a new resume for every application through Tail? Um, but now that I know that's
Essentially,
great.
they definitely do want you to create, so tailor essentially for each
Yeah.
role. So they'll give you your resume, and then you can then say, okay, yes, use Teal to like match it and see what the levels are and then edit as you go. So it's asking you to create a new resume, but it's more so like create a tailored resume
Yeah.
rather than create a new one, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, so yeah, that was my week.
This
It
is
was a good
great.
week, apart from falling sick, which was unexpected, but it's a good week, and I'm grateful to God for it. Yeah.
First of all, you came in on this chat talking about I was sick, this week was horrible, I didn't do anything. And then you're like, actually, I got a bunch of referrals and I did a bunch of networking sessions and I did outreach and I applied to jobs and I reached out to the hiring manager. Like, all of that is productivity. All of that is moving the needle. All of that is making you more confident. All of that is making you more like, sure of your story, giving you clarity. All of these things, they make all the difference,
Yeah.
right? You're not going to wake up one day and arrive. And I love what you said. I love what you said, which is I'm preparing for the job already. You're already, flexing those muscles as if you were in that job, right? You're not waiting for someone to give you the opportunity. You're doing your own research. You're mapping things out. You're creating things. Me, I already knew I told you that you're an entrepreneur, but anyways, we'll come
No,
back to
sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
told you that you were an entrepreneur already. Can you
Yeah.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. But we'll take it one step at a time. But you're already doing all the things that you need to be doing in that space. So yeah, it's like you said, it's a matter of time because you're taking all of the really good steps. And I hope it's not as stressful and overwhelming as job searching was 2.5 weeks ago when you were trying to force yourself to do it.
Oh, 100%. I think not even just forcing myself, but I think that I put a lot of pressure. I was like, it's do or die. Like, if I don't get a job, I die. Like, I think that that's where I was, mentally. But
Mm-hmm.
um, I think this is one thing I told you from the get go. Like, I think getting into this program will help me to structure myself a bit better,
Mm-hmm.
and and I think it was from last week when I went to the networking event that I was like, I'm gonna use this opportunity to just teach myself, not expecting anything. And that was really a turnaround moment where I was like, okay, talking to people is not just about getting a job. It's about building a network of people that are all in like a similar space, or people that are interested in the things that you want. And then doing these steps of like the program is like, okay, um, if you if your story is more, I guess, refined, then you know what you're looking for also. And I can relate to Matthias, and like when you actually know what you're looking for, you see less opportunities than just, mass applying to random roles. But then it's also more hopeful because I'm like, not only have I put in the best I can for my resume, I also believe that when I sit in front of someone, I have a good story to tell. I wouldn't just be talking to them because I want a job. I will be telling them who I am and why I'm the best fit for this job because I've done my due diligence. So it has really reduced a lot of the stress. And I've also stopped like, oh, if I get a job, it's like do or die. It's not necessarily do or die. I also have a father that takes care of me. Not a physical father, in case anyone is wondering. My God in heaven. um, I also have my physical daddy, who's a lover. But um, yeah, I've just, and I think it's all by the grace of God, and of course, taking this course is just working through it one step at a time. We're going somewhere, and it's beyond just this one particular role, right? It's beyond just this one particular role. This is just one job you will have in many, and Yeah, there's a lot of de-escalating of like perfectionism, de-escalation of I have to get like the perfect job. I can transition as many times as I want. If I decide this is not what I want to do and I want to be an entrepreneur, like life is a beautiful journey. Take it one step at a time. Um, yeah, so we're learning, and we're just doing our part, taking it one step at a time. Um, and I think even taking the part of just learning, like preparing myself, is like, oh, I really do care about this topic. I really do care. like, I really do care.
Yeah.
Like this. Yeah. So great stuff. And yeah.
This is good. This is good. I'm very happy. I'm very proud. Um, as you guys are learning, I am also learning. Like I've learned a lot from all of you guys' journey, all the things that you're going through, all the things that you're coming up against. Like this whole process, whenever you enter a process like this, all of your like insecurities start to pop up, all of the things that you fear start to pop up, but you also get to finally deal with it. Because there's you can go so many years with just being like, well, I'm a perfectionist and I'm a perfectionist and it is what it is. And then you're confronted in a program like this and you're like, okay, wow, I'm really a perfectionist. And that actually comes out in everything that I do. Maybe I need to look into this, or maybe I need to step back or figure out why I'm feeling this way. But like it literally allows people to go through that transformation. And this is ultimately why I do this work. So I think you had a fantastic week, Dama. I think that we're making good headway, and I'm very very excited. Um, okay, Tolu. Last but not least, how was your week? How was job applications? How was putting yourself out there, networking, all of that?
Yeah, hi everyone. Morning. The week was okay, I guess. Not as productive as I would want it to be, but I did make some progress in terms of putting myself out there. Um, I had some coffee chats with a couple of my colleagues, or I guess former colleagues now. So that particular partnership role that I sent to you earlier,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So I probably sent like, I don't know, maybe 10 messages or 10 connection requests on LinkedIn, and maybe I think 4 people responded or so, or maybe even 5 people responded. One person was like, "Wait, I thought you were still here." I was like, "Twitter." And then one person was a late response, like yesterday. But I spoke with 2 people that provided very very good insights, and they were even at the director level.
Okay.
um yeah, the again, I think it's appropriate because they gave me more insights into the role beyond what was posted. um so if, basically it's a partnership role, and for someone that says that they enjoy like collaboration and team dynamics and stuff like that, I thought it was a fit. And so when I asked further, basically they are trying to bridge the gap between ourselves and other financial institutions, other private equity firms, other um, um, crown corporations and things like that. What they needed, or what they need, is someone to do a lot of the groundwork of putting together the slides, putting together the analysis, gathering the data and the information. And so that kind of just made me start second guessing if it's the right role. Because as you know, like my current slash previous role is basically a lot of financial model and like um, PowerPoint presentation, which honestly I do not mind. I just don't want that to be no, I just don't want that to be the only thing. I don't want it to be more than 50% of what I'm doing. Rather, I'd rather like, the meeting people, the creating the connections, the leveraging relationship, the collaboration efforts and stuff like that to be like more than 50%, 60%, 70% is what I prefer versus like, it being the other way. And, the director actually said essentially what they found out is that they have a lot of relationship that they're trying to build, but they need someone that can basically just be working with them, sort of like maybe like a COO sort of, that will like be in charge of like, okay, so you need, stats for the last 5 years. Okay, this person's gonna reach out to you and collect it and please provide them, re-access and stuff like that. So that's kind of the person that they're looking for. And even the director was like, yeah, even based on like your years of experience, it might be a bit junior for you, which is in line with what you said. That like even compensation wise and stuff like that. Um, and so I was just like, but like it sounds interesting in terms of the bridge building, and I wish I was doing their own work. Then finding somebody else to do it. So, anyways, that conversation was good. Second person too as well gave very very interesting insight too as well. And they were like, yeah, you should like put yourself there. And like, even one of them was like, yeah, because I feel like I've given you most of the secrets of the role. If you do get interviewed and a part of the interview process, I have to excuse myself because I feel like he said it feels like he's already sort of like interviewed me already, and he doesn't think it will be fair to other people if he's now, doing the interview process. So, anyways, that was I feel like the one that I applied to that kind of spoke to me. And then I started seeing some other similar roles in other places that I've kind of like bookmarked that, okay, I need to like make sure that, my the way I present myself, resume and all that kind of stuff is in alignment. And thanks for sending the TIL. To be honest, I haven't like dug into the TIL access yet. I tried to use it in the past before. And I think when I saw that I required some subscription and stuff like that, I just I'm not paying for this. But now that you've given us access, I appreciate that. So I'm going to like go this week and dig into it. What else again? I think that's about. I've been bookmarking a lot of like opportunities I think are more in alignment again with what I'll be interested in, and then I'll have to do the networking part of like reaching out to people, hiring managers, and finding out what the actual work is about. So that's kind of where I am at, and aside from that, yeah, I'm still going through what I'm going through, and I think maybe by the end of this week into next week, I think I should be back to full capacity.
Okay. I
Yeah.
think you're making headway, and this is why it's so important to do the outreach, right? You can read something online, but it can be something completely different. So you
Yeah.
always want to kind of try to see what it actually is about, so that you don't feel sort of bamboozled if you do get through the interview, if you do get through the job, you're not sort of like, how did we get here? Especially
Yeah.
for someone like yourself, because you're really good with like speaking, you're a really good salesperson, so you can
Yeah.
almost get pretty much any job. I think
Yeah.
your issue is more like, do I want this job or should I even be going for this job? Right. And I think that mentality shift is going to be huge for you, because for you it's not about if I'm going to get the job, it's more about like, do I even want this job?
I 100% agree. 100% agree.
No. And that's it's a big problem. A lot of people might be like, oh, I wish I had that problem. That's also a big problem, because you could talk yourself into or out of anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So I 100%, honestly, 100, like 1000% agree because it's like I could apply for this, I actually get it, and then where did I get it? It's like, oh, how did we get here? Like,
How
do I
did
really
we
want
get
to?
here? Exactly. You don't want that. You don't want that.
So
And I
I heard,
feel like that's what we've been doing. And we keep getting into these roles. So we have to do something different to experience something different.
yeah,
Right.
and I think I appreciate the feedback because, as you know, just based on previous conversations we've had, and based on the additional insight I got from what the day to day is, I honestly don't think it's going to be a fit. Um, but again, I just kind of apply to just say, I know that BM is going to ask me, what did you do this week? So,
Accountability works. Accountability works. Half of my
so
anxiety is because I have a deadline. Let's be honest.
yeah, no, I agree. So, and even though like there's still positive feedback or valuable feedback from doing the exercise, right? Then like at least I do the networking thing, reaching out thing, putting myself out there thing. and then say, okay, I know that if I see something similar like this, it might probably not be for me, and then don't even go to that area. So I think like even in the other side, it would be more like still like go to market strategy, BD, you know, side of things is probably what I'll like look for. And I have some of those bookmarked already. So oh, what's that?
Huge. Okay, I don't think anybody is recognizing how huge this is. 2 weeks ago, you were like, well, what if I'm a fish? What if I'm
Yeah.
doing this? And what if, and what if? And I don't know, I'm not sure. And you just said to me, yeah, I think this is what I, just even those small glimmers of hope. I think a lot of the time you think it's this like big, like aha moment of like, this is what I should have been doing my whole life. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's just as simple as like, oh, okay, I think this is what I should be doing. Okay, let's start working towards it. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think it's also helpful like when you speak with other people. So I caught up with one of my senior buddies is currently at IBM, and this guy doesn't strike me as like the most salesy person or anything like that. But he has like a good technical knowledge. I think he's in like cyberspace and stuff like that. He works at IBM. And when he told me like, hey, like this is what I'm actually doing for IBM, like, he's worked at TD, he's worked at KPMG and other places like that. And he started sharing his experience, like, oh, if this is what you're doing, I can actually do it. Right? Because
One of the times is we need to validate these things, right? Because we have all these assumptions. We have all these assumptions of what these things are going to mean, what that's going to look like. And what we don't recognize is we actually project our fears onto these things.
Yes, no, I agree. So yeah, it's which is one of the reasons why I appreciate this group too as well. Like as everybody shares their experience and things like that, you get to like, oh, it's not that bad, like you're actually capable of doing it. I still have question around like, Matthias, like the whole gap year thing. I don't know. I'm
What's the
not sure what
question?
it's like when you said like leaving the 1 year gap and being worried about what like whoever sits on the other side of the table is gonna say or how they're gonna perceive him. I'm like, there's already a job after that period. So like whatever you say shouldn't matter. That like I mean whether you were on vacation, whether you were you kept applying or whatever it is, like you like somebody did see value in you and eventually hired you. So like that should answer any question they might have about like or any of your concern about like, oh, we did think that I wasn't so good, that's why I didn't get. It's like eventually somebody did hire you. So I think I was like just struggling to understand why you don't want to put
Why
the
we
job
made
on the
it.
resume and then
Yeah.
why you're concerned about the gap.
I had a client that it took them 10 years to complete their degree, to just complete an undergrad degree. Turns out they got diagnosed with schizophrenia halfway through, had to take literally like 7 years off.
Wow.
Just like, because at one point he was homeless, he had to get back his life, he had to go back, like it was a whole journey. And he came back and he finished his degree and he was looking for jobs. And he was just like, this is my life. This is the reality of it. And I feel like this is a good thing because like, it shows that I was able to be resilient and still come back and finish what I started. People hired him. And now he's like, growing in his career, right? Everybody has stuff. It's just how do you perceive that stuff and how do you judge yourself? I find that most of the time it's like about you and how you perceive it. Because how you perceive it is how you're going to project it. Right. I'll be very honest with you. There was a time where I was undercharging for my coaching. And I just perceived that this was the value that I was bringing to the table. And I had a lot of fear because I was like, well, will people actually pay for this? So just undervaluing. I had all these questions, just undervaluing myself, undervaluing. And then I remember I met with a finance person. She does finance mindset, and she was like, "Listen, you're operating in scarcity. You were very tight with money when you were growing up, so you think that everybody is the same way. So you're projecting that into your calls. So even before someone is like, I can't afford it, I'm like, well, I can give you a discount if you can't afford it. Like, I'm just assuming that they can't. And she was like, I want you to try something. I want you to double your prices. I literally almost punched her in the face. I was like, what do you mean? I'm struggling to ask for this and you want me to double my, she's like, I want you to double your prices. So I did it based on her like faith. I had so many more people take it seriously and actually pay at the doubled price. And beforehand, I was very nervous about charging what it was when it was half the price. And it turns out it was just my stuff. And people can pick up on that stuff all the time. If you don't believe in yourself, or you don't know, if you're not okay with the gap, if you don't believe in yourself, if you're not okay with what happened, it's going to show up and you're going to give the other person a reason to doubt you. But if you don't see an issue with it, and if you don't see any problems with it, then it's just your story and you can just own it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think like even I was looking at my own as well recently, and I was like, wait, why is there a gap here? Then I realized, oh, I was in the MBA. I was like, oh yeah, that's fine. So it's interesting. I do have
Right?
other. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it wasn't related. It was not about me. I guess I was going to ask, the reason why you are switching to entrepreneurship, and is that I would always ask questions. Is that more because there's a demand, or is that more because you think like that's where like the trend is going towards? Or I'm just curious as to like why. I mean, like I think you still be doing the same coaching, but like now you're like focusing on. Is that what it is?
So the idea is I'm still helping people pivot, but
Okay.
instead of helping them pivot into other corporations, I'm going to help them pivot into starting your own thing.
Okay.
It's coming from a couple of different places. Funny enough, none of it is external. All of it is
Mm,
internal.
mm,
One, you guys know that I'm a woman of faith, and it was just very clear when I was praying about it. Um, I actually got like the leading to do this change back in 2022, and I was definitely not ready in
mm,
2022.
mm,
And then it came back up again in 2024. So I was doing it like silently. So last year, I think I coached about 8 founders just silently. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't post it on my website. I didn't reach out to anyone. I didn't do any referrals, nothing. Because I was just like, who am I to say this? Basically, just imposter syndrome. Um, and then it came up again this last week as like, no, you have to do this and you have to do it now. And like some of the areas that you are preaching, because the truth of the matter is, I'm being very, very honest. And again, I've been very honest with you all. I don't like how corporations work. I don't.
why?
I've seen so many people burn out and like break down because of corporations. So there's always been a part of me that's like, okay, we can find you a better corporation, right? That was my whole thing. You're unfulfilled. Your workplace is toxic. You can find something that's better. You can find something that's a little bit more fulfilling. And that is true. You can definitely have a better corporate experience than what you're currently experiencing. But the system of corporations, especially for Black and Brown people, especially women, it was not set up to support us. And I've seen so many people struggle in that corporate environment, right? Moms are like struggling in that environment. It's not set up for them. And again, my whole thing has been, let me help you, because again, we need corporations, we need jobs, we need all these different things. Not everyone is supposed to be an entrepreneur. It's extremely hard on this side as well, right? Like your income goes up and down. Like there's so much uncertainty. Like it's not for the faint of heart, the entrepreneurship side of things. But the truth of the matter is, some people need to make that pivot outside of this system that they're never going to get rich off of it. They're never going to get financial freedom. They're never going to build something that's just theirs. They're always going to be worried about layoffs. Like it's just, there's just some people that just need to find a way out of the rat race. and they know they need to, but they don't have any guidance. They haven't seen it in their family. They don't know how to do it. They're making lots of mistakes. And this was me. I made so many mistakes. I spent so much money. Guys, I spent over $20,000 in coaching in the last 2 years. I know. First of all, I believe in coaching. Like, I don't just preach it. Like, I genuinely believe in it. And I spent so much money, and I've been sold so many programs because I was just like in pain and somebody else had the answer for me. So I would pay for all these coaches to help me through, but I was never at the level that I needed to be at to actually take advantage. I remember I spoke to someone and we were talking about scaling. So scaling your coaching business. But I was talking about scaling my coaching business when I didn't really have a solid product. So it didn't make sense. So I wasted that whole coaching and experience because I wasn't ready to be at that level of coaching. But I didn't know that. I just thought someone can help me. They've sold me this thing. They can help me. Right. So the coaching package that I'm selling now to entrepreneurs is the starter package. What do you need to start? That's what I'm focusing on. Like, what are some of those things that you need to start this journey? Right? Simple things like separate your bank accounts. That was something that I didn't do for like 4 years. So I was getting, I know it sounds silly, but like I was doing this and so many people are doing this. Right?
You cut out, ABME. What did you say?
I was saying that even something as simple as separating my business account from my personal account, like finances. I was getting, money coming in from the business and my personal in the same account. Again, I know that I'm not the only one that does this. There's large corporations. There's people do nonsense behind their business.
I think she was cut out again.
Email account, but then when I needed to do other things, I needed a domain account. So now I have 2 email accounts.
Oops.
Can you all hear me?
Now I can.
I was just saying I made a lot of mistakes. And I want to help people navigate figuring out the first couple of years of entrepreneurship. And if they don't have to go through what I went through, that would make my life much better. And I think I've known this for about 2 years, but I just disqualified myself because I was like, who am I to teach people how to do this? And it's like, well, your lived experiences, your MBA in entrepreneurship, and all of the founders that you've coached, that qualifies you to do this work. So now just go do it.
No, that's good. Thanks for sharing. I think like what I admire most is like even the clarity of it, of coming to that point. And I think one of the things that also positively propelled me this past week was also like, I told you about trying to join the CAF or the military, and those ones were like, we don't have space for you. And I was like, okay, that's one less thing to worry about. So
That's another thing. Doors are closing. Doors will close. If you're not meant to go down a specific path, doors will close.
Yeah.
And
So clarity definitely is very, very helpful. And,
exactly. It does not mean that it is not scary. Again, I spent the last 10 years, literally February 2025 is 10 years of my first job in recruitment, helping people get jobs. I know how to do that. Helping people start companies, this is something that I'm learning. So it's scary for me. I'm making a pivot as well. So all of the things I'm asking you guys to do, I'm doing them myself. I'm reaching out to my network. I'm planning. I'm getting organized. I'm taking action. I'm doing things afraid. Like, it's not easy, but I know it's worth it, right? And it's not being motivated by anything external. It's not there's more money coaching entrepreneurs, or there's more this, or there's more. It's all internal stuff. And I'm working through it one by one.
Thanks for sharing. That's all from me.
Thanks for asking. Okay. Next week, like I mentioned, we are going to be telling our story out loud to each other. Okay. We're going to be doing mock interviews. What that is going to look like is my assistant will send you all 3 questions each at the beginning of this week. Don't over practice it. Don't overthink it. Just prepare your talking points. And we're going to get into this type of call. And then each person is going to do a mock interview. And then everybody else will give feedback on that person and the way that they shared their story. Sound good? Okay.
Yep.
Any last things before I let you all go? You want to call in sick for next week? How come? Are you sick or are you just tired?
Don't worry, I will be sick.
You will be sick. Don't say that. Don't speak that over yourself.
Don't worry, don't worry. I guess this is goodbye, guys.
That's funny. Let me know how it goes. But yeah, don't speak that over yourself. Let me know how it goes. Anything else before I let y'all go? Okay. Tolu, did you want to say something?
No, I was just going to say thank you. That's all
No
from me.
worries. No worries. I'll talk to y'all later, okay?
All right, bye, everyone.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.